What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Movie Fanatics. This is episode 23. Guys, it's crazy. We're this deep into the show. 23 episodes. But we can't thank you guys enough for your continued support of the show because we love doing it for you guys. We love talking about movie news. So, and of course, you guys know my co-host. He's right here, right next to me. He needs no introduction. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Hot day here today in the city. It felt like 100 degrees today.
It felt like you were living out in the desert, didn't it?
Yeah. And at work, I had to work outside today.
Oh, double whammy.
And that was not pretty.
No, that's a double whammy right there, dude. Because, I work indoors, and I spend most of the day in the dish room. So I'm basically around a dishwasher almost all day. Whenever that shit goes up to 120 degrees at least, I'm gonna be botched in sweat.
Without a doubt.
I'm gonna be botched in sweat. And every day I'm working, I come out of there sweating.
Oh, jeez. It's to the point every day, when I come home, I take a shower, and then I wash my hair every single day from being outside.
Yeah, it's never fun, dude. It's never fun. But
I almost got a headache today from being out there, and luckily I had a little Tylenol on me, so I took it, and it went away pretty quickly.
That's good.
Prepared. I'm always prepared.
There you go. I like that. See, that's something I like about you, dude. You're always prepared. Always prepared. But you ever get those cases where but really quick before we go into our first topic for the night, do you ever get those cases where it's you take some Tylenol or ibuprofen and you think your headache goes away, and then it's just hey, it's coming back, bitch.
I had that some cases, yeah.
That happens a lot, dude. It's bad.
And also, I did see finally the TV spot for the Naked Gun.
You finally saw it.
Yeah, and it looks funny.
See, dude? See? Oh, man.
I think I might check it out.
Does it say what it's rated, though?
It did not say what it was rated. It's still not. Film has not yet been rated. Still,
it's got to be rated R, though, dude. Either a very hard PG-13 or at least a moderate R rating.
Yeah. All I just see is Liam Neeson eating a sandwich in the car, and he's on hidden camera.
That's a chili dog.
The chili dog, yeah. He's eating the chili dog.
Oh my god, dude, that was some crazy shit. But damn, it was funny.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. Yeah, it says this film is not yet rated.
Oh man.
But it has to be rated R.
Like I said, hard PG-13 or at least a moderate R.
Yeah, because the original Naked Gun was PG-13.
But times were different back then.
Yeah. All three of them were PG-13.
Yeah.
So nowadays, it could either be like what you said, a PG-13 or a hard R.
Yeah, it's got to be one of those two at least.
I hope it's rated R.
I hope it is too. But anyways, we're rambling. Let's just get right down to the basics here. Start with our the weekend box office.
So I just had to get the Naked Gun thing out of the way because I know Luke has been saying, "Oh, did you see a trailer for it?" Well, I did see a TV spot.
So that's something. I'm just shocked you never even got a trailer for it, in a movie theater, though.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's take a look at the beginning here. So, Jurassic World Rebirth with $92 million.
Why am I not surprised this is number one?
Well, not even that. Why it's still making a lot of money.
The power of Jacob Hubbard.
Yup.
Where is he? He needs to come on here. I'd be like, oh, look at this. Jurassic World Rebirth. Thanks.
I would have said that. I actually should say this. To kind of play as a joke for like, why it makes so much money. The power of dinosaurs compels you. Because it's true. The power of the dinosaurs compel you.
And even though you said it was very disappointing.
Yeah. Compared to Gareth Edwards' last film, I almost said Evans for some reason. Gareth Edwards' last film, The Creator, yikes. And this movie currently right now is over $300 million worldwide.
Yeah, let's take a look at.
Let's take a look at the current standing.
And it's 334 million.
Does not surprise me, really, because, dinosaurs.
Yeah. And
people love to see dinosaurs.
And we know Superman's going to bump Jurassic World off as number one. Superman, of course, is going to be the number one movie this weekend.
Yeah, and before I watched Bring Her Back, before I watched that, because my monthly rankings now, I include every 2025 release I watched. Mm-hmm. The fact that I had Until Dawn above Jurassic World Rebirth tells you something. Because at least Until Dawn had a really cool idea. It's nothing like the game, but it had a cool idea. So yeah. And I'm trying to think of another one. Like, I'm trying to think of another movie where it's like, I can't believe I'm living in a world where this movie is better than Jurassic World Rebirth. Well, I would say The Phoenician Scheme, but I'm a Wes Anderson guy, so that's not really surprising. How about, you know what? I'll actually look at my list quick.
F1.
Well, F1's not really a shock.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Lilo and Stitch reboot is better than this. Yeah.
Which we will be getting into Lilo and Stitch because big news about that.
We'll talk about that here in a second, but F1 is still kicking with 55 million. They already announced a sequel, so
yeah. Let's see the
worldwide gross so far. Let's take a look.
301 million.
That's pretty big though, dude.
Mm-hmm. I still have yet to see the film.
Again, don't worry about the runtime, dude. Just go see that in the theaters.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other films coming out, like, Superman, and you got Fantastic Four coming out. So,
well, I know you want to see I Know What You Did Last Summer. So
yeah, that's coming out next week.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I don't know. I'm still trying to think about if I want to try to convince my friend to take me to go see Eddington. Like, I'm thinking about it, honestly. I'm thinking about that. I don't know why, because I'm still very skeptical about it because of the whole, it's like a COVID Western movie. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll pass.
I mean, it's got a good cast, though. I mean, I love Joaquin, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, and Austin Butler, all in the same film. That should be a winning combination, and plus Ari Aster behind the camera. But again, though, the concept has me worried. How to Train Your Dragon, yeah, it's definitely going down, but it still did really well.
Good.
It still did really well.
120 million, and it was announced, and it's getting a sequel.
Like it's actually confirmed this time. It's actually confirmed that we're getting the sequel. So, Elio, with a $5 million gross for the weekend. Let's take a look at this one really quick.
Yeah.
Didn't even hit $100 million, and that is very sad for Pixar.
Yeah. And it's an enjoyable film.
It's good, but like, it didn't, like, I'll be honest, it really did not deserve to bomb that badly. And no one's talking about it. Like, no one's talking about it. There's no marketing for it.
It will do good when it comes to 4K and Blu-ray and Disney Plus.
Mainly when it comes to Disney Plus, it'll probably do well.
Yeah.
But
this will have a cult following.
Probably will, but I really don't know, man. This did not do good at all at the box office. And like I said, no one's talking about it. Like, it's going to be one of those films where it's like, hey, did you see Elio? And it's like, what's Elio? Oh, that one. Yeah. Did you? Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it's going to be one of those movies this time around.
Well, you could blame Disney for the marketing.
Yep. Because they wanted to try to market the shit out of like Mufasa, Snow White, and Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch.
Come on, Disney. 28 years.
Why do I have a feeling next year they're not even gonna promote Hoppers that much?
I wonder why.
I have a feeling that it's gonna be the same outcome as Elio.
Again, I wonder why. Anyways, continuing on, we have 28 years later with $4 million. Again, as disappointing as this movie was, I'm still glad it did really well. So maybe we can actually so that way we can actually see where the sequel leads. But man, was not that ending put a bad taste in my mouth. Megan 2.0, this movie performed very poorly. Yeah,
look at this, 31 million.
Yeah, that was way below expectations for Blumhouse, at least.
Yeah.
Because I was sure they weren't expecting this film to bomb that badly. But it kind of makes sense why it did, because it literally came out the exact same weekend as F1. And it also had competition with How to Train Your Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no way that Megan 2.0 was going to make its money back. And it's already going to be on digital next week.
That tells you something.
That is a bad sign. Anyways, let's move on from that. Lilo and Stitch. Let's get to that.
975 million. This is
only 25 million away from $1 billion.
This is going to make $1 billion, people.
It's really close, but I don't know, man. I really don't know, but it's really close. It is really close. But it makes sense why this film made so much money, though. Like,
and we're getting the sequel, of course.
Yeah, because it made so much money. That's why. Mission Impossible, 34% drop. I'm still glad it passed its budget, but I know this is not going to break even, though. We already know that because of this film's humongous budget. No way. Still glad it made money, though.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next one. Materialists.
Wow.
Hey, there we go. That's not bad. 45 million. That's not terrible. There we go. Some good word of mouth for an A24 film right here. I mean, a lot of A24 films do get good word of mouth, but this was one that I wasn't expecting to, make more money.
We got this.
Yeah, for a little re-release. Wow, international box office $68. Wow, that's kind of wild.
I never seen this as Spinal Tap, but I've heard.
I was actually about to say, dude, I've never seen this movie. And I know some people are probably going to be clicking off the stream and be like, what, Luke, you haven't seen this? I know. I've never seen it. You know that little 100 movie scratch off poster where it's like if you've seen it, you can scratch it off and then see a little image of a movie.
Yeah.
That's the last one I have on that little poster. That is the last one.
It's a mockumentary on Spinal Tap, the band.
No, I know that. It's just I haven't really had any way to watch it.
Yeah. Directed by Rob Reiner.
At the peak of his career right there.
Yeah. Way before Stand By Me, way before The Princess Bride, Misery.
Way before Misery.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, and I know the sequel's coming out here very soon, so I definitely will need to give this one a watch before seeing the sequel.
Which one?
Spinal Tap.
They're doing a sequel to Spinal Tap?
They're actually doing a sequel.
I did not know.
Yeah, they are. They are doing a sequel. So, yeah, I am going to have to watch this first film. I know it's a classic. I know a lot of people love that movie. I've never seen it. I know one of my best friends. I think one of my best friends actually has the VHS of that at his house.
Nice.
I don't know. But anyways, Ballerina. This movie did not perform well, which is very deeply unfortunate because this was a really good movie. It's the weakest of the John Wick films so far, but it's still really good. It didn't really deserve to bomb that badly. But I think because of the fact that, they had to, slap on the John Wick name.
Because then people would be like, well, what the hell is this?
That's exactly what this was. Like, why people didn't really go see it. But it still is a lot of fun, though. I really, really enjoyed that as a fan of the John Wick movies. Anyways. And then, yeah, clocking a little bit right below that, there's the Phoenician scheme, which we're actually going to talk a little bit about this a little bit later, because there was a little rumor about this film that is apparently true.
And
so
we discussed this a few weeks back.
Yep. It is on digital now, so for anyone that missed the Phoenician scheme and you've been wanting to see it, there you go. Now's your opportunity.
Let me guess, you got it on digital.
I did already, and I already watched it again. Hence my little hence my little tagline. Yeah. If you guys pay attention. Yeah, Final Destination. I'm still glad it made so much money. Yeah, almost 300 million.
And already I heard they're doing a sequel.
I want more after this one. I mean, with how this one turned out, I want more. Because this is the best Final Destination movie. And like I said, I want more. Life of Chuck. Oh, man, dude. I still have to wait until the end of the month to finally watch this.
7 million.
This one did not do well. But I know this film is going to be talked about for the rest of the year. Once it lands finally on digital, this movie is going to get way more praise than it is.
It's gonna get a cult following.
Hell, maybe even Oscar talk.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've heard, like I think this film maybe could get Oscar talk.
Karate Kid Legends
still did not perform well, and I don't care how.
3 million.
I really don't care how this movie performed because it's not good at all.
And you know what else? This movie is coming to 4K next month. That tells you something.
And it landed on digital today, so
that tells you something.
Yep.
I think if a movie's not good, then they're gonna put it on digital.
This film could probably do even better on Netflix, but as far as I care, no. But yeah, nothing much else here to talk about. We pretty much just covered that very well.
The big movie that's coming out this week is Superman. We all know that's going to take the top spot.
Yep, that one will definitely take the top spot.
I'm jealous to everybody that has Amazon Prime and they get to see it early in AMC's, I think.
Yep. Well, AMC, Regal, and Cinemark. I think AMC, Regal, and Cinemark are all doing that.
Lucky yous.
So, but well, actually, now you kind of stole the thunder there, Michael. Because guess what? That's what we're talking about next.
First reactions.
So come out for Superman.
I'm saying, don't spoil it on YouTube later.
Insert picture, no spoilers for Superman. No spoilers, and from what I know, there is post-credit scenes.
That's good.
There is going to be post-credit scene.
But this has a good tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes.
So that kind of feels like a breath of fresh air that it actually has a good Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, everybody was like, I don't know about this film. But
I was skeptical for sure, but like, I mean, as excited as I was for this film, I was still skeptical with how this was going to turn out because, James Gunn is not only just, bringing his incarnation of Superman to life, but also introducing a lot of characters.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this movie has an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, which makes me very, very happy.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a step in the right direction for comic book movies this year. This might be a step in the right direction. Because, I mean, I was thinking, wow, this is probably going to be another pretty piss poor year for comic book films after Captain America. No. But after Thunderbolts and supposedly with Superman
and Fantastic Four
and hopefully Fantastic Four, maybe we might actually have a great year for comic book movies again. Let's see. So let's go ahead and read a couple of reviews. Superman's humanness stands in stark contrast to that of Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, a billionaire style to look like Andrew Tate, but with an intellect, temperament, and ambition of a Silicon Valley technocrat, and gave it a 3 out of 4. Comes from Kevin Slane of Boston.com. Next one from Neil of Movie Mom. Says, while it is, thankfully, not an origin story in the traditional sense, it is a story about a man from another place whose sense of himself is tied to his ideas about his origin and the ideas of those around him as well.
She rated a B+.
Grade of a B+. That makes me very happy once again.
And I liked when she said, while it is not an origin story, because we already know the origin story of Superman. We've seen it in Christopher Reeve's Superman. We've seen it also in Man of Steel.
I think we kind of saw that a little bit in Superman Returns.
Yeah.
So, we've seen plenty of Superman origin stories. So we don't really need to do it all the whole origin story over again because we know the character of Superman.
Yeah. So I'm glad that she said, well, it's not an origin story in the traditional sense. So that's a good sign.
That is a good sign. The Superman franchise has a new lease on life with this engaging reboot. The superhero movie, which has Crypto as a scene-stealing dog, yes, can get overstuffed with subplots, but it's got plenty of thrills and comedic moments. I figured this one was going to be kind of overstuffed because if you guys remember the trailers for this movie, there's a lot of characters that we're introducing here. Like you got Hawkgirl, you got Green Lantern. And of course, like we say, we got Superman, we got Lex Luthor. There's a lot of characters. So
I think this, from these good reviews, James Gunn looks like he balanced so many of these characters in the film.
For the most part, but again, we shall see. Yeah. But we already know how the Snyder fan base is going to be about this movie. Like they are all going to wish that Zack Snyder was still making these movies when clearly James Gunn knows what he's doing.
Watch Guardians of the Galaxy, people.
All of those movies. Watch the Suicide Squad. Or hell, even his first film, Slither. Go watch that because it at least has a lot of his comic inspiration. So, anyways. Yep, look up at the screen. It's a great comic book movie. There we go. That's the perfect one-sentence review. That's just perfect. Soaring with style, heart, humor, and a seriously cool dog, this fresh take on the beloved Superman is, well, quite simply, super.
5 out of 5.
Yes, sir. All right, let's see if we can try to find a rotten one to see what we got. Because I think there's definitely got to be very few. Because there is a lot of fresh reviews for this.
Oh, look, Doug Walker. Look at this. He says a messy spectacle, but still a spectacle. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
Coming from Doug Walker, everybody.
The nostalgia critic. Oh, found a couple.
Wait, let me see if we missed some.
Well, I found a couple that were negative. This Superman claims he's driven by by a desire to do good, which is a sweet and welcome message, especially compared to the darker Cavill take. But more often than not, he just feels like someone the plot happens to. Get grade of a C plus. Interesting take. There are no surprises.
Jeremy Johns.
Jeremy Johns? Oh, man. I mean, I actually did see his review earlier today. He gave it a good time if you're drunk, and I'm like, what? That's crazy.
I'm kidding. Jeremy Johns.
I still respect him for it, but man, what's a nice guy like Superman doing in a mean place like this? He's Superman. What else do I gotta say? He's Superman.
What kind of little review was that?
I don't know. I mean, these are Rotten Tomatoes approved critics, so yeah.
Sorry, Josh Larson, I disagree.
Anyways, bounces the right now with the baked in history that has made this character an icon for the better part of the last century. That's great to hear.
Any attempt to reinvent the wheel in Superman falls short, and this was a movie that really needed to reinvent what's become a relatively rusty wheel. By Edward Douglas, 5 out of 5.
5.5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
Wow. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of really good reviews on this movie, which makes me very, very happy.
I like Doug Jameson's review here. Hopeful without being corny, modern without feeling desperate, and expansive without being incoherent. It's a generally rousing return to form and one that starts this new era of DC Studios in style.
Yep, and also want to shout out one for Zach Pope, the defining film that we all need right now. A beautiful, poetic, and punk rock film that shapes not only the DCU, but the future of what comic book films should be. Grade of an A-. That makes me very happy.
Doug Jameson rated it a 4 out of 5.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I think that pretty much kind of covers it right here.
Let me read this one. Despite generally entertaining action, impressive acting performances all around, Superman is less for 14 or 40-year-olds, but instead, what's the difference? It's a perfect shooting strategy if you want to hit nothing. 2.5 out of 5 by Jackson Weaver.
Wow. Again, I can't really talk too much shit, like for one, since I haven't seen it, and also secondly, these are Rotten Tomatoes approved critics, so.
Nick Shager says a Whoopi franchise restart that resembles a Saturday morning cartoon come to overstuff, helter-skelter life.
That's crazy. But yeah, I think that covers it.
Majority of the reviews have been positive,
which is good. That makes me very happy to hear. So I'm still trying to think about when I will go see this movie, either Thursday or Friday. I don't know when.
I'm going to see it Friday.
I don't know when, either Thursday or Friday. We will see. Because I'm excited either way.
And also, since we're getting into Superman, there was an article that came out saying, that Superman has a immigrant story.
Oh, yeah.
And James Gunn addressed criticism of that.
Okay, we don't really need to pull up an article about that, like you said, but...
We don't need to pull up an article about that. And he had saying that Superman is an immigrant story about basic human kindness.
There we go. I think that's honestly the best we can go with that.
Yeah.
But
well, we just wanted to
anyways,
since we were on the topic of
Yep, there you go.
Moving on.
All right, moving on. This is some pretty sad news, but Michael Douglas has officially retired from acting at 80 years old. So yeah, his last film was actually Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Think about that, people. Just joking. But regardless, this is sad news because, I mean, Michael Douglas has always been one of my favorite actors. Funny enough, I actually was introduced to him with the In-Laws remake that he did with Albert Brooks, because my parents had the DVD of that, and I actually watched it quite a bit as a kid for some reason, even though I wasn't actually allowed to watch it. but I did actually watch it quite a bit as a kid. But I think if I had to really think of like my favorite Michael Douglas film, I think I'm probably going to go with Wonder Boys, directed by Curtis Hanson. He stars him, Tobey Maguire, Katie Holmes, Robert Downey Jr., and Frances McDormand. Great cast right there. And honestly, a very underrated movie that really no one talks about.
Also,
what was your introduction to Michael Douglas, and what is your favorite film from him?
My introduction to Michael Douglas was Ant-Man.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I just enjoyed, him as Hank Pym.
All right.
Thought he did a very good job in all three films.
Like he actually was, he was honestly pretty good in Quantumania, even though I've really come around on it. It's not good, but I will say he is at least one of the better parts.
Yeah.
Like I'll say that for sure. He's definitely one of the better parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the only that's the film that. Oh well, he was in Coma too, the original Coma, which I really enjoyed.
All right.
In that, but the main film that I saw Michael Douglas in was the first Ant-Man.
All right.
All three of those films, and then he was in Coma. He was a executive producer for Starman, which is cool.
What is your favorite film from Michael Douglas?
Looking at his filmography, I'm gonna have to go with Ant-Man.
Okay.
I mean, I liked him in Coma. He was good in that, but I just like Ant-Man, the first film that introduced me to Michael Douglas.
All right. Looking at some of his other films.
The two films that I want to check out, which I heard nothing but good things about, is Romance in the Stone and its sequel, The Jewel of the Nile.
There's a lot of other really good ones that Michael Douglas is in, like The Game, David Fincher's film.
The Game, I heard, is pretty good.
Very trippy movie, though. I mean, but that ending definitely goes on for way too long, but it's still really good. Fatal Attraction, we all know that concept of Fatal Attraction, but it's still like that was the one that started it all, like, with the crazy psychopath.
That's one film I have not seen, but I've heard good things about.
It's a great film. Let's see what else. Wall Street, the one that did with Charlie Sheen.
Another film that I have not seen. I gotta check out at some point.
Black Rain, that's a really underrated movie right there with him. Traffic, with him, Benicio del Toro, Dennis Quaid, and Don Cheadle. There's a lot of really cool people in that movie, directed by Steven Soderbergh.
War of the Roses.
War of the Roses, which if you guys have seen the trailer to the movie The Roses with Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman, it's pretty much a remake of that movie. If you really think about it.
The Ghost in the Darkness.
That's another really underrated movie right there.
John Krasinski for Rainmaker.
Rainmaker's really good. The American President, with a romantic comedy with him and Annette Bening, where he plays as the president of the United States. Really, really good movie. Really sweet movie there too. Falling Down.
I've heard of Falling Down.
I think actually, even though Wonder Boys is close, I think Falling Down might be his best performance. Like he's a character that just says fuck society and just starts breaking all the rules. Like that's the movie. And it's really, oh man, that is one of my all-time favorites. Basic Instinct, that's a very famous movie. We all know how famous that movie is. It's a really good murder mystery, but is of course mainly famous for the sex scenes. See, there's A Perfect Murder. Have not seen that. Josh, what's going on, man? Glad to see you here.
What's going on, Josh?
There's a little film called The Sentinel that he was in that I've heard is pretty good. Where basically there's an assassination that goes on, and he plays as a Secret Service agent that gets accused of it.
I only heard of the horror movie The Sentinel.
But this is a little political thriller called The Sentinel, starring Michael Douglas. Let's see, another one called Don't Say a Word. I've heard that one was all right. I do want to check that movie out. Last Vegas, that one was pretty good, honestly, with him, De Niro, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Kline. That's a pretty funny movie, I can't lie. Just a couple of old dudes just partying it up in Las Vegas. Yeah, nothing really much else to pinpoint. Like I said, the In-Laws remake that he did with Albert Brooks, and also one of the earlier roles of Ryan Reynolds.
It looks like his last film is going to be a film called Looking Through Water.
Oh, okay, that'll be his last movie. But
has not come out yet.
I was saying his last movie, like before his retirement, was
Quantumania.
Was Quantumania, which, yeesh. Yeah. Anyways, I know you like it, but I've really come around on it, and I have realized that film, yikes.
Yeah, it does have issues.
But plus the big whammy is that the film doesn't even matter anymore. Like, you got to admit that, dude. That movie does not matter anymore with the MCU, because the film was supposed to set up Kang, and guess what? With all like the legal battles and all of the stuff that's come out about Jonathan Majors, we're not getting Kang anymore.
Yeah.
So, but hey, if you guys like Quantumania, cool, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Also, another topic, Evangeline Lilly announced her retirement as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so we're on the same topic, because her and Michael Douglas will star in all 3 Ant-Man films.
I don't even think Evangeline. Yeah, Evangeline Lilly hasn't even done as much though. Like, she was in like White Chick, she was in the Hobbit movies, or no, at least the sequels to the Hobbit, the Desolation of Smaug and Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah,
I did not know she was in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah,
it's been a little bit since I've seen Freddy vs. Jason, like in its entirety.
She was in Real Steel, which I really enjoy that film.
Love Real Steel. She was also
could have got a sequel to that film.
Where's the Disney Plus series? Like, I think weren't they talking about that? Where's that at?
Yeah, they were talking about that.
Yeah, where is it? Come on, Disney, get it off the ground. Let's see. She was also in The Hurt Locker, Best Picture winner, right there. Yeah, not much else. Just the Ant-Man films, Endgame, of course, White Chicks, the 2 Hobbit the Hobbit sequels, The Hurt Locker, Real Steel, Lizzie McGuire movie, and Freddy vs. Jason. Did not even know she was in the Lizzie McGuire movie.
And her last film was Quantumania.
Wow. Boo.
I didn't even know she was in 4 episodes of Smallville.
Did not even know that either. I mean, I never watched Smallville, so that's why I don't know.
That's in my list of favorite shows of all time.
I do want to watch it though. Prince is in the chat. What's up, dude? What's up, good to see you. Says Ozzy retiring, Michael Douglas retiring. That's right. Ozzy Osbourne announced his retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man. Musical legend. I love Ozzy Osbourne. Underrated Real Steel. That's a great one. Yes. Hurt Locker. Good one. Yes. I love the Hurt Locker.
I never seen Hurt Locker.
It is definitely a war film, but it's a really good one. Wait, I forgot. I'm tripping?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it is directed by Catherine Bigelow. And also, look at that steelbook, though. Look at that.
That's a cool steelbook there.
That is a beauty. I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first when I first saw the design, but it's like one of those cases where it's like you don't know how you feel about it when you first see it, but when you see it in person, it's like, that is a nice looking steelbook. So, yep. Love that thing. So, this is unfortunate news that Michael Douglas is retiring. We love you, Michael Douglas. Thank you for all your movies, sir. All right, let's go to the next one here. So Marissa Abella is joining the new Highlander movie. I have seen Marissa Abella in a couple of things from my personal memory.
Black Bag.
Black Bag she was in, but that was more of a supporting role that she was in. But she was really good in that. She was in the Amy Winehouse biopic, Back to Black, which I've kind of come around on. It's not very good, but she's amazing in it as Amy Winehouse. Those are like the two main movies that I know her in at the moment, is just those two.
Fred says, but good thing we have Oasis back. I'm happy doobie doo.
That's pretty good. I'm happy doobie doo. I forgot that she played a small part in Barbie, but I think this will actually help get her career on track for sure, dude. Let's take a look at the thing with load. Yeah, breakout Marissa Abella joins Henry Cavill. Just watch just watch the first one, because none of the other ones are really that great. Well, actually, no, not even just not that great. I've seen 2 in its entirety, and I watched like 10 minutes of the third one and I gave up. So just only watch the first film. Yeah. So yeah, she's joining Henry Cavill in this remake of Highlander, which is awesome news to see. Coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter, by the way. What the heck?
Come on. Yeah.
So
StreamYard.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. Like the whole thing just went went blank for a second. What the heck is it doing? Oh, it's a whole freaking Pepsi ad.
Yeah.
About to say, I don't know what the hell this is like. I don't know what the hell we're doing here.
Yeah.
Madam Web, anyone? That's what that movie is. It's literally a Pepsi commercial.
Fuck that movie.
I think it's honestly the best, worst Pepsi commercial ever.
That movie makes me not want to drink Pepsi anymore.
That's what I should have been drinking. That's what I should have been drinking when I saw that movie.
I've always been a Coca-Cola lover.
I mean, hey, I still like Pepsi. I mean, even that movie didn't even make me hate Pepsi.
No wonder why you like Madam Web so much.
Because it's one of those films where it's like you actually get your friends together and actually laugh at how terrible it is. Unlike Kraven the Hunter. But that's another subject.
Henry Cavill is in this.
Yeah, that was announced already that he was going to be the main character in this this new iteration of Highlander.
It says Russell Crowe is also on the call sheet.
Russell Crowe is on the call sheet. Okay. Did not know about this one. Chad Stahelski is on board to direct, the guy that made all the John Wick movies. Well, not really counting Ballerina if you really count the reshoots.
Is he going to try to make this remake like John Wick in the same style? But
probably. I mean, definitely different style, but also kind of the same sense of John Wick with how the action's directed. Because if you've seen those movies, then you probably would know how he directs action, and it's perfect. It's perfectly done. Yeah, this is just kind of going over the whole synopsis of the original Highlander.
Yeah.
And
Sean Connery was in it? Wow.
Yeah, Sean Connery was in the original. Where's it at? Highlander. Yeah, Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. The original film. Directed by Russell Mulcahy. I do not know how to pronounce that. But yeah, he directed that. But yeah, Highlander is a good movie. It's definitely kind of also guilty pleasure fun, because the film is definitely stupid. It's very 80s, but it's fun. So yeah, Cavill is playing our main character, while we also still got Russell Crowe, like you said, also on the call sheet. Um,
The script is being written by Michael Finch.
I forgot what writing credits this guy has. I mean, I'm not sure if this guy really has any writing credits, but I'm gonna take a look here really quick. Michael.
Oh, he wrote Predators.
Eek. Okay, but he also did write John Wick Chapter 4, though.
Yeah.
That and let's see. Yeah, he wrote John Wick Chapter 4, Predators, American Assassin, The November Man, which, yeah. And then Hitman Agent 47, ouch.
Hitman Agent 47.
Ouch. Yeah. I said, yeah, Michael. That's an ouch.
With that said, your question.
I mean, I like the choice.
Your question in this
but
remake now.
I actually want to quickly look and see if there's anybody else that's going to be attached to the writing. Nope, it's just him. He's the only one that's attached to the writing credits at the moment. Okay, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, it says that United Artists has secured full rights to the 1986 original with potential to also develop a new series. Lionsgate spent years developing the project before relinquishing it to United Artists.
Production is due to begin in September.
All right. Going to be shooting in Scotland.
England, and locales such as Hong Kong.
That's going to be interesting. So, yeah, I'm interested in this remake, and also Marissa Abella joining. We'll see how this goes. I mean, I'm really starting to like her as an actress. You know, after her performance in Back in Black was great, while the film was fine, and then, like I said, Black was great, and she was really good in it for her supporting role.
He says my eyeglasses twin, the Briscoes or the Dudley Boys? The Dudley Boys.
Yeah, no disrespect for it said, but Prince said he'll go with Briscoes, but no disrespect for the Dudleys.
Prince, get the tables.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I need to go to the next one. Okay, then.
I gotta say what Prince for the Dudley Boys was.
Anyways, this was interesting news right here. About Ringo Starr giving notes to Sam Mendes on this new Beatles biopic that's coming up.
Biopics are becoming very popular now.
I mean, they still have been popular. It's just now we're getting at least one, two, or three of them a year,
which is good. I mean, we got Better Man this year,
which is one of the best ones I've seen in a while. Because honestly, with a lot of music biopics now, they're afraid to do what Better Man did. Like, actually go for it, and actually, show stage anxiety. Mm-hmm. Well, not really stage anxiety, but also what taking drugs can do while you're on stage. And I'm going to say this really quick before we go into this article on this on the notes here. When Robbie Williams is on the Graham Norton show promoting his movie, he basically kind of described it like this without spoiling it. Like, the first 40 minutes of it is or the beginning is kind of a little bit happy-go-lucky kind of thing right here. It's like that for about 45 minutes, and then it becomes Train Spotting. And I'm like, that is a very accurate description of that movie. Because if you guys have seen Train Spotting, then you know how fucked up that movie can get. And how depressing it can get, too. So Robbie Williams making a comparison, basically comparing his film to a certain degree to my favorite movie. Win. That is a win right there, dude. Let's see. The drummer recalls that telling the filmmaker, that's not how we were, I'd say. We would never do that.
Good.
Let's see. Sharing some notes with Sam Mendes. According to the Star, Mendes spent 2 days going over the script line by line, and Star offered extensive notes. the film about accurate to his personal life and experience.
I'm glad that Ringo ended up saying that to Sam Mendes.
He said he had a writer, very good writer, great reputation, and he wrote it great. But it had nothing to do with Maureen, his first wife. And it had nothing to do with Maureen and I. That's not how we were, I'd say. We would never do that. However, after they went over revision, Star felt content with the script. He'll do what he's doing before. He'll do what he's doing, and I'll send him peace and love. There are 4 biopics on each Beatles member, made by Sony. Barry Keoghan is portraying Star, and Keoghan shared his experience while being nervous while meeting the Beatles on Jimmy Kimmel Live. When I was it was sort of one of those moments where you're in awe and you're just frozen. The Saltburn actor recalled. When I was talking to him, I couldn't look at him. I was nervous, like right now. He said, "You can't." He said, "You can't look at me." And again, you're playing Ringo Starr. Keoghan said, "My job is to observe and take in kind of mannerisms and study, but I want to humanize him and bring feelings to him, not just sort of imitate him." He added that the two just sat in the garden chatting away, and that Star was absolutely lovely. Paul Mescal will be starring as Paul McCartney, which is interesting. Harris Dickinson as John Lennon, and Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. And like we also said, Barry Keoghan will be playing Ringo Starr. And all 4 of the biopics were set to open in theaters in April 2028. Oh boy, we still got a few years. Yeah. So yeah, good thing about Ringo actually giving some notes to Sam Mendes about this.
Good thing that he wants him to set things down a lie and for him not to make things up.
Actually show what Ringo was like, not just with the Beatles, but also just as a person.
Yeah.
Because
you don't want to make up this stuff because Ringo's going to come out and say, "Oh, well, that did not happen."
Because like I said, with one thing about Better Man, at least Robbie Williams, besides, Michael Gracie, of course, having full control, Robbie Williams was an executive producer, and because he's the one person who knows his life better than anybody else. And they got a lot of things right from what it seems. So
I think that Ringo and Paul McCartney need to be executive producers of these biopics.
That way we can it actually feels like we're getting accurate depictions of what they were like as people, not as music artists.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's go to this one. This was interesting to hear from Michael, that there was actually wardrobe use from the unmade Blade reboot that was used in Sinners.
Now we know why the Blade. Now we all know why the Blade reboot has been canceled.
So many script problems. Like, they say it's going to come out, and then it doesn't happen. Say it's going to come out, doesn't happen. Like, we've been through this repeating pattern so many goddamn times. So this comes to us from Deadline. Let's take a look here. Mm-hmm. Yep, it says the costume designer for Sinners used wardrobe that was going to be for the Blade reboot. All right. Let's take a look. Let's see. Remains in limbo. A piece of the delayed production ended up in the biggest vampire film of the year. Ruth Carter was working on the Blade movie that ended up not shooting. And instead of the 2-time Oscar winner, what does it say? winner on the Screen Crush podcast. At one point, the movie was going to deal with, and she's talked about this before, but at one point, the film was going to deal with the past around the same era as Sinners. That's interesting. Ohanian ad or Ohanian?
Ohanian ad,
yeah. It's hard for me to read sometimes. She happened to have a warehouse full of period appropriate clothes, and it was like, yo, we got to shoot this movie like tomorrow. And Marvel was generous and kind enough to let us basically purchase it at price.
I can imagine him saying that, like, yo, we got to shoot this movie like tomorrow.
Yep. Well, while original costumes are made for the main cast, a lot of the background actors ended up styled in the wardrobe from Blade. Wow. Yeah, we went through this one. Of course, we know that history behind Blade. But that's interesting.
Yeah,
did not know about this, actually, that apparently a lot of the costumes that were going to be used for Blade were used in Sinners.
And
wow.
Now we know why Sinners is our favorite film of the year.
That gives me even more respect for it because of that. Because, you know, Blade's been through so much like fucking production issues because of the fucking scripts not being like either not matching up to par or just not being written in general.
I gotta say, you got your Blade reboot here in Sinners.
Pretty much, if you really think about it.
Without Blade himself.
And not as many vampires.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because also, I know you haven't seen the original Blade, but in the original Blade, there's a shitload of vampires. Like, even in the opening scene of the film where he takes them all out in a nightclub. Like, that is some awesome shit right there, dude.
I gotta watch Blade.
Yeah, Blade's great. I mean, Blade 2 is close. I'd say Blade 2 is close, but Blade Trinity, don't even bother. Blade Trinity is not that great. But the first two Blade movies are awesome. Because I was trying to think, like, because the first one was directed by Stephen Norrington, and then the second one was Guillermo del Toro. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do I like the first one or second one more? They're both awesome. But
I say you like the second one. I gotta say you like the second one more because Guillermo del Toro has, you know, we all know del Toro's style.
I mean, I love Guillermo del Toro, but like, I don't know. There might be days where I think the first one's better. Because I mean, even though I love the second one, I love Blade 2 because, you know, Guillermo del Toro did it.
What's up, old Restless?
Says Blade 2 special effects are rough. That was the 2000s for you, dude. But hey, but honestly, if you really think about it, they hold up better than most 2000s comic book movies. I'd say the ones of the early 2000s comic book movies, they hold up better. That one holds up better than most of them. Like Daredevil, Elektra, Fantastic Four, Catwoman. Yeah, those movies.
And I enjoy Daredevil and Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four is fine. Like, it's all right, but it's not great.
It's not great, yeah, but it's fun.
I'll honestly go as far as to say it's honestly not a good movie.
Second one is fun, but yeah, Galactus in that one, I'm like, what?
And even though I love the look of the Silver Surfer, I did not like how they executed the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, it was a waste. They wasted Silver Surfer.
But also around that time, also had bad CG. Yes, the Mummy Returns. That's right, The Mummy Returns. Have you seen the look of the Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns?
I have not seen any of the films.
But have you seen the look of the Scorpion King though?
Yeah, by The Rock. Yeah,
that is horrendous. Like, if you like as a kid, I didn't mind it, but looking at it now, what the hell?
Well, you got to give props to that for The Rock because The Mummy Returns and the Scorpion King kickstarted his career.
Well, mainly it was the Scorpion King.
Aside from him being in WWE.
But yeah, like I was saying though, besides like it was the Scorpion King that was like the big start for his career. But it was his acting debut was in The Mummy Returns. Like, but it was like a brief appearance as the Scorpion King, which looked terrible. But seeing him in the Scorpion King, it's a stupid movie, but it's fun. But if you really, I'm not sure if you've seen this one, but if you really want a good like early action movie with The Rock,
Rundown.
you got to watch The Rundown.
I gotta watch The Rundown.
This movie is great. I mean, literally, his character is a bounty hunter, and he's just they go like him and Sean William Scott go off onto the Amazon to get away from Christopher Walken. So, yeah, directed by Peter Berg. Yeah, this movie is awesome. If you guys have not seen The Rundown, watch it. This is an awesome movie. I think I actually might agree with Old Restless. I think this actually might be the best action movie with The Rock.
A lot of people say it's his best film.
I think it is honestly his yeah, I think I'd honestly say it's his best movie. I want to see like what else I'm just trying to remember some of the other action movies that The Rock was in to,
Doom.
Eesh. That one's at least fun bad. But if you really think about it, out of all video games that could have become a movie, that one got made. Like we didn't get a Legend of Zelda movie back then. We didn't get like a Metroid movie, not even a Metal Gear Solid movie. We got a freaking Doom movie. We get a freaking House of the Dead movie. We get a DOA movie. Yeah, we get those kinds of movies back in the day. A Far Cry movie, even at that. Let's see. Rampage or San Andreas are the worst. I actually kind of enjoy San Andreas.
I enjoy Rampage.
Rampage is, I mean, it's basically big monsters fighting.
Yeah, I like the chemistry between him and Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
But San Andreas, I like for its schlocky entertainment. It's a disaster flick, but it has fun.
San Andreas, I've seen some clips here and there, though.
It has some really solid disaster sequences, though. Like, some really good ones. But just the story and the characters could use some improvement. It was good to see Paul Giamatti in that one, though. I'll tell you that. Trying to see some other ones. Central Intelligence. I like Central Intelligence.
I have the film, but I did not watch it.
Basically, where he was basically The Rock, when he was younger, was the most picked on kid in high school, and he was a fat boy.
They play that in all the TV spots and the trailer.
And then Kevin Hart was voted most likely to succeed in his senior year of high school.
Man, they played that. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it in the trailer.
And then and the guy who basically played this cruel senior prank on The Rock grows up to be Jason Bateman.
Really?
No joke. The grown-up version of Trevor is played by Jason Bateman. The
Bateman.
I mean, who doesn't love Jason Bateman though?
Do you ever see the State Farm commercials where it's a State Farm guy, Jake from State Farm, and he goes, "Oh, don't mess with the Bateman." It's like a parody of Batman.
But yeah, but instead it's Bateman.
It's Bateman.
Anyways, we're kind of rambling on a little bit too much.
Yeah, we got Walking Tall.
Walking Tall is actually pretty good though. I like that one.
Gang.
But that was but again, we're talking action movies. We're not really because
Faster.
I actually want to see more movies that The Rock can do, like that one.
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain's funny, but it's weird that you're laughing at a real life murder.
Directed by Michael Bay.
The tone of that film just feels so off for some reason.
Snitch.
Snitch is pretty good. I mean, it's not terrible. But I can tell you one movie with The Rock I'm excited for, which is The Smashing Machine.
A24 film.
Yep, A24 film, The Smashing Machine.
I did see the trailer for this.
It looks really good. Directed by Benny Safdie.
I'm interested in it. He directed Uncut Gems.
Him and his brother Josh Safdie directed Good Time and Uncut Gems.
Good Time has been on my watch list.
But you want to know the one you really need to see though? Uncut Gems. Because if you really want like acting amazingness out of Adam Sandler,
like a serious Adam Sandler film,
that is his best like serious performance is Uncut Gems.
That's like his best drama role.
I think I'll honestly even say it's his best performance in general, honestly, is Uncut Gems. And that snubbed him out of an Oscar. I'm still going to stand by it.
And he said if he did not win the Oscar for Uncut Gems, he said he was going to do the worst film ever made. And he eventually did do that. I think it was Hubie Halloween.
Okay, but I've actually heard that Hubie Halloween's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible. I actually had fun with it. Although he does do his Waterboy impression for his character in that film.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But anyways, let's go on to our next topic. So there was something that Brad Pitt was talking about with Tom Cruise about Ford versus Ferrari.
This would have been good.
It would have been cool, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I would have liked Ford versus Ferrari if it had Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise in it. But I liked what we got. You know, Christian Bale in there.
Matt Damon.
Christian Bale, Matt Damon, yeah.
Yeah, I love Ford versus Ferrari. I actually like the day that I bought that movie my parents bought that movie on Blu-ray for me. We actually ended up watching it together.
I saw it in the theater. I saw it with my dad, and we both enjoyed it.
You know when people ask you the question of what's the movie you regret missing in theaters? I think I might have to say Ford versus Ferrari. I honestly regret missing it in theaters.
It was worth it seeing in theaters.
But I actually do have kind of a good excuse for it. I didn't have a local theater for a while. So that's why I wasn't able to see it. But thankfully when it came out on Blu-ray, I watched it. It's fantastic.
Very fantastic.
Says Tom Cruise pulled out of Ford versus Ferrari after he realized he would not be driving much in the movie.
What do you think it would be? Days of Thunder 2?
I mean, well, also F1 does also involve quite a bit of driving. I mean, the movie's literally called F1, so. Speaking to the United Arab Emirates-based publication National News, Pitt reflected on the racing pick that never came to pass, which initially featured F1 and Top Gun Maverick helmer Joseph Kosinski as director. The eventual 2019 biographical sports action film that featured Christian Bale as fearless racer Ken Miles and Matt Damon as automotive designer Carroll Shelby and James Mangold as filmmaker.
Yeah, Old Restless, we talked about Superman's reviews.
I'm still very excited to see Superman. I'm thinking either Thursday or Friday to go see Superman. But at least with this, guys, I can promise there will be a review for Superman. I can promise that. Like, both of us will review it on our own channels, and then possibly we might do a spoiler review on it when we go on Movie Fanatics in a couple more weeks. Because next week I will not be doing an episode since I will be on Dell's channel ranking the Superman movies.
So there will be no
Movie Fanatics next week. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that off right now. No episode next week.
We're taking a week break.
Yep. So that way, because also to be fair, like since I think since like the last week of May, like we've just been cranking out episodes every single week. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be nice to have a little break.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tom and I for a while there were on Ford versus Ferrari with Joe to direct. The interview with the vampire actor said that this was about 10 years before the guys who actually made it a great movie. what it came down to was that we both wanted to drive. He wanted to play Shelby, and I wanted to play Ken Miles. And when Tom realized that Carroll Shelby would not be driving much in the movie, it didn't come through.
Mm.
So I'm not sure how that's going to work in a potential F1 sequel, but we'll give it a go. I'd love to. Previously, Kaczynski shared in a sprawling GQ feature that about the making of F1 that the reason his Ford versus Ferrari never came to fruition was because studio objections to the budget. Okay. That's interesting. But also to be fair, like why F1 has a pretty big budget is because Apple also funded the movie.
Yep.
So that like when I found out that was actually like, you know, an Apple movie, that kind of surprised me because they didn't look like one. It didn't look like one that was also made by Apple. But originally, when I first heard about the film, the company that originally came to mind, like when the trailer came out for F1, the company that originally came to mind that made the film to me was Sony. You know, because they made Gran Turismo. And even though the film was not successful at the box office, it still received pretty good word of mouth.
Yeah,
so let's see. I would want to drive again, selfishly speaking. F1 is still the focus. It needs to be on Joshua Pierce, the daughter of Damson Idris character, and the rest of the team fighting for a championship. Where does Sonny fit in? I'm not sure. Sonny's probably out on the Boneville Salt Flats, setting speed records or something like that. So I'm not sure beyond that just yet. Right now, I'm just pleased as Punch that something like this can bring people together. That's the power of this kind of cinema. With that, Pitt added that should a follow-up come to pass, he'd be open to collaborating with Cruise, perhaps even a tie-in of an In the Works Days of Thunder sequel, which the latter has said he is actively working on.
Yeah, there's talks of him wanting to do a Days of Thunder sequel.
But also, I saw someone post a something on Instagram not too long ago, but I think we already covered everything with this topic. I'm actually going to take this banner down since we're done. But what I actually noticed, someone posted this on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. They had like a little side-by-side thing with between the F1 and Days of Thunder. There is a lot of similarities in F1 to Days of Thunder. But even though there's more of an emotional connection with F1, like there's a bit more story and there's a bit more conflict with F1 rather than Days of Thunder. Because if you really think about it, Days of Thunder really has no story.
Yeah, it's just
Tom Cruise racing cars.
Yeah,
that's all it is. I mean, even though F1, people could say it's the same thing, even though there's more conflict and more of a story happening. Like people will say it's a generic story, which you're not wrong. But what I'm saying is there's more conflict to F1 than Days of Thunder.
I enjoy Days of Thunder.
I mean, Days of Thunder is great, but if you really think about it, like I think the Flick Pick honestly put it best. Like, even though I love Days of Thunder and Top Gun, Tony Scott kind of felt like the Michael Bay of the early 90s, and like also like the late 80s. I kind of agree to a certain extent. I love Tony Scott though, but I can kind of agree to a certain extent. Like a lot of fast-paced editing.
Yeah.
With Tony Scott. I mean, even though to be fair, Tony Scott is like leaps and bounds better than Michael Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, even though there's quite a few Michael Bay movies I do enjoy, he's not my favorite filmmaker.
I don't think he's anybody's favorite filmmaker.
Which I've seen some people say that before. I mean, not even exactly like troll comments. Like I've actually seen people say that like they adore Michael Bay.
Well, you get this, but in every Michael Bay movie, it's the same thing where it explodes.
Just a lot of explosions, a lot of slow-mo, and a lot of awkward humor.
A lot of shaky cam too.
Bay is more so a guilty pleasure director for me. Josh has a good point. Like,
good point.
Even though there's like, I would say like one or two movies from him that I would say I absolutely adore, like which are The Island and The Rock. Those are the two films I absolutely love from Michael Bay.
He said, Oressa says, I feel we blame the producers Bruckheimer and Simpson on those films.
Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. But also, to be fair, Jerry Bruckheimer also did produce F1. So, and plus, also to be fair, Jerry Bruckheimer has produced a lot of like some of my favorite movies of all time. So, they produced the Michael Bay garbage too. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Jerry Bruckheimer did produce that was from Michael Bay. But I don't know. I mean, I think Bruckheimer actually did produce Armageddon. I was sure that Jerry Bruckheimer did produce Armageddon because I know Bruckheimer also produced all the Bad Boys movies, which the first two were directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer produced Armageddon.
Yeah, I figured as much. I think if I'm not mistaken, I know this is not directed by Michael Bay. I'm sure Bruckheimer also produced Con Air. Like, I'm very certain that Bruckheimer produced Con Air.
He did.
Now, if you actually want to talk about it, if you want to think about this, that movie actually like legit feels like a Michael Bay movie.
Then a Simon West film.
It's not directed by Michael Bay, but it seriously feels like one. Because, like, it feels like they hired Simon West and they were like, just copy Michael Bay. Like, that's basically what Con Air is, but it's so fun. All right, let's get to the last topic. You guys know what it is.
Recent physical media pickup.
Or just physical media update in general. I only got a few things. I got my horror pack stuff, and I got 3 other things. So, you got a few things, Michael?
Yes.
All right.
I got 2 things.
2 things? Go for it.
Well, I got the Blu-ray of a classic, The Time Machine, the original, not the remake. I have not seen the remake. And
the remake, I've seen the remake, and the remake is terrible.
This is the George Powell film. Stars Rod Taylor, Alan Young.
I'm actually going to put my hand up on that one. I've actually never seen that.
Definitely check this out.
I do want to see it, but for some reason I've seen the remake.
Yeah, this film. If you watch it, you gotta say after you watch it, this is miles better than the remake.
I'm sure it will be. It's just
for 1960.
Like that is like exactly 1960.
Yes, this film was released in 1960.
Wow.
But it has a documentary on it, the Time Machine Journey Back, hosted by Rod Taylor, which I watched, which was really good. And the documentary features directed by Michael J. Fox, and he talks about the time machine that in this film they used for Back to the Future as well, and they showed the DeLorean as well.
Nice.
Very good documentary though, and it also has the trailer to it. So good thing it has the documentary, which was I think like a TV special that they did for PBS. So very good movie, classic.
Nice.
Rod Taylor, very enjoyable as his portrayal of H.G. Wells, which the book was written by H.G. Wells, who gave us the War of the Worlds.
Nice.
So Time Machine, very good movie.
I'll have to check it out.
The original Time Machine.
Yep, is the original.
And then I had to pick this up today. I got the Holy Grail, my favorite film of the year, Sinners.
I wish I was showing that in this update for you guys because I know everybody would be expecting me to have this by now, but my Walmart sucks. They didn't have it in stores today.
And I like that it came with the slipcover.
Okay, but I'm going to say this here really quick. If my Walmart only has the Blu-ray, like just the Blu-ray, I'm not buying it. Like that needs a 4K treatment in this household.
And you'll get
especially with 2160 picture quality, like on my 4K TV.
And I think this has maybe like the IMAX.
Yeah, it's an IMAX enhanced aspect ratio.
Yeah.
Or no, IMAX enhanced picture quality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god, dude! I'm so pissed my Walmart didn't have it. Like, I am so fucking pissed.
And I got this from Amazon, and of course, a little bit dented on the slip cover.
That's nothing new.
Nothing new.
I mean, sometimes like when I get stuff from Amazon, like steelbooks, for example, sometimes they'll just fucking come dented.
But,
well, like actually, I'll show you this one really quick. I didn't get this one from Amazon, but it came from Best Buy, and I got this as a Christmas gift. It's for Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind. Look at the back of this. Look at this. Look at that huge dent on the back. That is a huge dent. Like, even like when I saw like the metal pack for the Hunt for Red October at a Goodwill, it was beat up. Like, that shit was actually beat up.
Wow.
And I was like, no, I'm not buying that, because the person who obviously owned it beforehand didn't take good care of it. But anyways.
But it does have features. It has Dancing with the Devil, the making of Sinners, Blues in the Night, the music of Sinners, which I love the music in this film. Absolutely great.
I'll be jamming the Rocky Road to Dublin every day.
Thicker Than Blood become the Smokestack Twins, Michael B. Jordan's characters.
Yep.
Spirits of the Deep South, Wages of Sin, the creature effects of sinners, and it also has some deleted scenes, which I'm really looking forward to checking out. I can't wait to rewatch this film.
I've seen that movie. I'm so glad I actually saw that one twice in the movie theater.
I only saw it once.
Well, that's because you saw it late, so...
Yeah.
Like, we were telling you for weeks to go see it, and then you finally did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, good job.
And I love it. And it's my favorite film of the year. I think any...
Still is mine.
I think any film that comes out this year will not top Sinners.
I'm just going to say, keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
Just keep telling yourself that. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Oh, Restless, Viewer Drew, watch Sinners.
Yes, please. Please watch Sinners. But what...
Josh
but
said
like...
The only issue I have with Amazon is the time I was missing the bonus material DVD of Star Wars 4 to 6 and the movie disc of Alien vs. Predator. No audio commentary, sadly.
Wow. Companion is my favorite film of the year still so far. That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Josh, if you did not see Sinners, I think Companion will be bumped from your favorite film of the year if you checked out Sinners.
I guess while we're at it, quick, let's just like briefly go over our favorites of the year since we're halfway through. I know it's going to be outdated by the time Superman comes out, but let's just go. We're just gonna say them, and then we'll go to my stack. Like we'll just say ours. So I'll just go through just 10 of them. I've got Novocaine. Again, this is from 10 to 1. Novocaine, How to Train Your Dragon, F1, Bring Her Back, The Phoenician Scheme, Warfare, Better Man, Mickey 17, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, and Sinners.
I have my top 5: Thunderbolts, Companion, Mickey 17, Warfare, and Sinners.
I'm surprised we have the same number 3 with Mickey 17. I'm surprised. Because I thought I remember you telling me at one point that it wasn't in your top, wasn't in your top 5, not even your top 3.
My list changed.
See, dude, like that's kind of what I'm saying with Mickey 17. It sticks with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you don't like it, give it another chance, because it'll sneak up on you. All right, but anyways, I will go ahead and go over my physical media stuff. I'm gonna go over my
Gavin in the group chat said that Superman was phenomenal. So that's
so happy to hear it.
That's a good sign. He said it was masterful.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to see it.
All right, I'm very excited to see it now.
Yes, sir. Cannot wait.
Kevin, if you're watching, and thank you, Cam.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for that.
Even Camp said it's amazing, and look what he rated it.
I'm not shocked, honestly.
Bless you.
Thank you. I should have turned off my mic.
Yeah, a 5-star for Superman from Cam.
That's always awesome.
I think it might be a 5-star for me if I see it. When I see it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see on my end. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, and I'm gonna go over my my horror pack stuff that I got. What I was telling you, I don't know if I said this on stream or not, but I think I told you this off stream that when you get a sequel to a really good movie, you wish you just got the first one instead.
Yeah,
that's the case with this one. I got freaking Deep Blue Sea 2. I didn't even get the first Deep Blue Sea.
Wow.
Thanks, horror pack.
Now you got to get the Arrow video release of Deep Blue Sea.
Or I'll just get the first one in general, honestly. Then I got this movie, which looks kind of interesting, called Hunters. This is actually a Shout release, and I'm like, okay. From time to time, they'll give you Shout or Scream Factory releases.
Josh says Deep Blue Sea 2 sucked. The third one was better. They made a third one?
Yeah, there was both Deep Blue Sea 2 and Deep Blue Sea 3 were direct to video.
He says the first one was better. Good. I'm gonna still go with the first one. I'm not even gonna acknowledge the sequels. Just like how I don't acknowledge the Jaws sequels.
Yeah. All right, the next one I got is the Horror Pack Limited Edition, Cruel Summer 3, Pray for Fall. I have the other 2 Cruel Summers that came in Horror Pack. I have not seen them yet, and they seem like pretty fun slashers, so I'll give them a chance at some point. And then the last one, I like the title for this movie, so I actually might give this one a try at some point because I really like the title. It's called Carnage Park. I like that title.
I like that title too.
So honestly, I want to check this. Oh, what? Alan Ruck is in this? Yeah, Cam from Ferris Bueller.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna check this one out at some point. I'm gonna check out Carnage Park. That looks interesting. Like, even just honestly looking at it, let's see. It's 1978, and a bank robbery gone wrong forces 2 criminals to take a hostage. And as they go on the run, but things go from bad to off the rails berserk when Vivian and her captors wind up in the crosshairs of a deranged ex-military sniper who ensnares them in a deadly game of cat and mouse.
So
this seems interesting. What?
That came out in 78, right?
No, this takes place in 1978.
Okay.
This movie came out in 2016. Huh. Okay.
I was gonna say, wow. If it was released in 1978, wow, Alan Ruck did that way before Ferris Bueller. But
no, but this is a IFC midnight movie.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and they didn't really have these kinds of movies in the 1970s. Mm-hmm. Like, let's see, when did Hunters come out? Oh, Hunters came out in 2021. Okay. All right. And then the last 3 are from the A24 shop. The last few pre-orders I got in. So got the 4K of Warfare.
I still got to get it.
We both acknowledge this one of our favorites of the year. This is an excellent movie. Not going to be a watch all the time kind of movie, but this is one worth owning. Then another one got Death of a Unicorn. I think honestly one of the most underrated films of the year, in my opinion. This is a really funny movie.
I got to get it. It's $29. I think $29.99 on Amazon.
Yep. Again, I pre-ordered all of these, so, but I got them at different times because I ordered them all separately. And then the last one just came in for me today, and I'm very happy to finally I'm very happy to own this in the collection. Here is The Legend of Ochi. Yeah, I have not opened this one yet, but I think I'll actually go ahead and do it live unboxing for you guys.
There you go. I gotta still get it because I want to check out the film.
I know you. I look back on your most anticipated list for this year, and you had this one on your list.
Mm-hmm.
So open this up.
I wanted to get to this to see it in the theater, but it came and went.
Yeah, this movie did kind of just like it was one of those movies like it just came and it went. I'm gonna try to get this out of the box.
Sometimes A24 releases that sometimes too hard to get out of the box.
My Blu-ray, my one for Queer is kind of hard to get out. But here's the.
Oh, I like that.
It's a nice little whole image there. Nice little disc artwork right there.
Nice, I like it.
Show the inside here really quick.
That's pretty cool.
Nice little landscape.
Even Josh,
Let's see if I can. I'm going to pull out the photographs for this.
Even Josh says Death of Unicorn was underrated.
Very underrated. I'm just trying to see if I can actually get this out.
There's shots from the film.
Yep, photographs. Oh, this is cool. I'll show the backs. I'll show the back of this here in just a second. I think these are all. Oh, they got different things on the back. Okay, that's cool. I'll show those off here in a second.
I like how A24 does that.
So here's this one.
Nice.
Yep, set photos from this movie.
I like that they included that.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Another set photo.
And this was actually like a little puppet that was used for Ochi. Wasn't CGI'd at all.
Props for A24 for releasing set photos.
And here's this one.
Nice.
And this movie will still kind of hold his little special place in my heart because getting a like from the film's director on my Letterboxd review.
That's pretty cool.
This movie will still be special to me. There you go. And there. Oh yeah, forgot that Willem Dafoe's in this.
That's the only reason why I want to check it out.
You're kidding.
If it has Willem Dafoe in it, I'm like, all right.
Well, I mean, Willem Dafoe pops in for a little bit in the Phoenician Scheme. No joke, but it's only like in the black and white segments of the film.
Yeah.
Where they're
Talk about the Phoenician Scheme.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. I did forget about that. So
yeah, we'll talk about it after this.
Hold on, I just need to get this all back in. It's gonna be a bitch to get this back in.
I think
it won't be.
Needs to have, a little bit better packaging so you could get it back in easy.
Yeah, but I mean, yep, there it is. There's Legend of Ochi. But I'll just take this off. Yeah, so if you guys remember when we were talking about some upcoming physical media stuff for July, the Phoenician Scheme popped up.
This was announced yesterday.
And the announcement is now official. It is coming to Blu-ray and 4K on July 29th. Only a month and a half after its release. Wow. Wow.
And this guy has it pre-ordered already.
Of course I do. I have it pre-ordered already, and I mean, did you think I was not going to?
I knew you were going to pre-order it.
But which version did I get, though? Blu-ray or 4K?
4K.
Of course. And it just landed on digital today, so if you guys did not see the Phoenician Scheme, I mean, I don't care if it's $25 to buy it. Just buy it. Watch it. It's a good movie. I don't know. I'm thinking here. Do I dare pre-order another copy for this guy? Do I dare?
What? If you want to.
I mean, you literally gave me the whiz, so.
I know you have a budget, so.
I know. But I still want to do a watch along at some point for the Phoenician Scheme, because I think that would be a fun one since I did Asteroid City already. So I think it'd be kind of fun to do the Phoenician Scheme.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, guys, that's it. That is episode 23 of Movie Fanatics. Like I said before, no episode next week because I will be on my buddy Dell on Movies channel ranking the Superman movies after James Gunn's Superman. Which, speaking of which, after we wrap up, I think I need to continue on that binge because I need to watch Superman 2 again. And also watch the Donner Cut for the first time.
I don't have Superman 2 in my collection.
I have them digitally because I actually won them in a code giveaway from Zach.
Because I like to watch the Lester cut of Superman 2 and then the Donner cut.
But then that means also I got to go through Superman 3 and Superman 4. But we'll talk about this for a second after the stream. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming in. And, of course, look forward to both of our reviews for Superman, James Gunn's Superman. And we'll do a spoiler talk on this so we can let our thoughts sink in on the next episode.
Yeah.
And then, but as far as for movies next week, but next week, I'm saying, not this week, because this week is Superman. Next week we got Eddington, Ari Aster's new film. I might try to go see it.
I Know What You Did Last Summer,
which I'm looking forward to, but I'm still skeptical. And then Smurfs,
which we are both not seeing.
I will only see it just to get rid of one of my vouchers so I don't have to pay a single damn dime out of my wallet.
I'm not even seeing it. I'm not paying my money for it.
Well, the reason why I'm using, like I said, the reason why I'm using a voucher is so that way I don't have to pay any of my money. It makes it easier for me. But regardless, well, that's another subject for another time. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for coming into the chat and chatting with us about movies, about some good movie news. And we will see you guys in the next video.
We'll see
Peace.
you in 2 weeks.